My wife handed me a $5,000 bill for her girls' trip hotel saying you pay for it. On the View, I nodded that's fair. Then I called the hotel, canceled her room and used the refund to book myself a first-class flight to Vegas. She found out when the front desk declined her card. I 33 male work in logistics. My whole job is about finding the most efficient way to get something from point A to point B on time and on budget. I am practical. I am methodical. I like spreadsheets. My wife Thea 31 is not. She is, in her own words, an aesthete. She appreciates the finer things. She's an influencer, but more in the buys expensive things and takes pictures of them way, not the gets paid to post way. We've been married for 4 years. The first 2 were fine. Then she discovered Corinne. Corinne 32 is Thea's best friend and she's married to some venture capitalist guy who apparently just rains money on her. Corinne's life became Thea's blueprint. Suddenly our budget read. My salary wasn't just for our mortgage and utilities, it was for bi-weekly maintenance, facials, fillers, nails, $700 handbags and brunches where the cocktails cost $30. I tried to talk to her. Thea, we can't. This is $2,000 over budget this month. She just waved her hand. Julian, you can't put a price on self-care. It's an investment. Corinne says. I was tired. I was so tired of hearing what Corinne said this week. It all came to a head. It was her annual girls' trip last year. It was a spa weekend that cost $1,500 this year. She and Corinne were doing it right. She came into my home office on Tuesday night. I was trying to untangle a shipping manifest issue. She didn't knock. Babe, I need the Amex. You have your authorized user card. What's wrong with it? I said, not looking up. I need to pay the hotel balance, the one for the trip. It's due tomorrow. Okay, how much? She slid a piece of paper onto my desk. It was an invoice from the Azure Cove Villas. My eyes scanned the page. Final balance due $5,128,550. I stopped typing. I looked at her. She was wearing a silk robe and had that "why are you bothering me with details? Look, $1,000. Aha. It's for the 4-night oceanfront suite. Corinne is getting the junior suite. So I have to get the oceanfront. It's better for pictures. Yeah, I said, my voice dangerously calm. This is more than our mortgage. We cannot afford this. It's insane. She sighed, a put up and dramatic sound. She sat on the edge of my desk blocking my monitors. Julian, stop being so practical. It's an experience. It's not just a hotel. I'm gonna be networking. Besides, Corinne's husband is paying for her and her flights. You just have to pay for the hotel. I just have to pay $5,000. She smiled like she was explaining something to a simple child. She put her hand on my shoulder. You pay for it. On the View. I have to be seen. Julian, it's part of the package. You get to be with me. I get to be maintained. That's the deal. On the View. Something in my chest just went cold. All the resentment, the exhaustion from working overtime to fund her aesthetic, the embarrassment of having my card declined once at a team dinner because she bought a $1.200 coat. I didn't know about it all, just clicked. She didn't see a partner. She saw a service provider. I looked at her perfectly injected lips, her flawless skin, the $400 robe she was wearing to sit around the house, and I smiled. You know what, Thea, you're right. That's fair. Her whole face lit up. See, I knew you'd get it. Absolutely. The View needs to be maintained. Don't worry about it. I'll handle the invoice. You're the best. She chirped, kissed my head and waltzed out, probably to text Corinne that the ATM had agreed. I sat there for a minute. Then I picked up the phone. I called the Azure Cove Villas. Hi, I'm calling about reservation number 882 GF. I confirmed my name, the last 4 digits of my Amex. Yes, Mr. My last name. How can I help you? I need to cancel this reservation. What's the cancellation policy, sir? You're just inside our 72-hour window. You are eligible for a full refund of your deposit and the final balance will be voided. Excellent. Please cancel it effective immediately. Can I ask the reason, sir? Change of plans. The View is no longer available. I hung up. The $5,128.50 refund would hit my card in 3 to 5 business days. My job is logistics. Point A to point B. Point A was me, tired, broke and disrespected in my own home. Point B was anywhere else. I opened a new browser tab. American Airlines first class non-stop to Las Vegas, leaving Friday morning the same day her trip was supposed to start, returning Sunday night. Total cost $2,800. Open another tab. A very nice, very famous hotel on the Strip. Booked a high-floor suite with a soaking tub. Total cost on $650. Total cost for my own experience $450. A bargain. Really, I paid for it all on the Amex. I spent the next 2 days being the perfect supportive husband. Are you all packed, babe? Don't forget your sunscreen. She was thrilled, floating around the house taking selfies of her packing flat lay, which included 3 new swimsuits. I'm sure I'll see on the next credit card statement. Friday morning she had an 8 a.m. flight. I had an 11 a.m. I had an early meeting, so I just drove her to the airport at 6 a.m. Have the best time. I said, kissing her cheek. You deserve it. I know I'll try to text you, but we're going to be so busy. Don't wait up, she said, grabbing her designer suitcase. I watched her walk through the automatic doors, then I drove home, grabbed my own bag which I'd packed and hidden in my car, and drove back to the same airport, different terminal by 3 p.m. I was 30,000 feet in the air, sipping a surprisingly decent champagne and watching a movie. My phone was on airplane mode. I landed in Vegas. The air was different. I felt lighter. I checked into my hotel. The room was massive. I ordered a ridiculous room service burger and took a nap. Around 8 p.m. I put on a nice shirt. She hates too boring, and went downstairs. I sat down at a $50 blackjack table I bought in for $1,000. I silenced my phone but put it face up on the table next to my drink just in case. At 9:17 p.m. As I was deciding whether to split eights, it started. Buzz, missed call Thea. Buzz, missed call Thea. Buzz, buzz Thea. They said the reservation is cancelled. My card was declined. Fix this, Thea. They are saying I have no room. Corinne is already checked in. I am stranded in the lobby. Julian, fix this. The dealer looked at my phone, then at me. Busy night. I smiled. Hit me okay. Wow, this got intense. Thanks for all the messages. It's wild to know I'm not the only one who's been treated like a walking wallet. I'm back from Vegas. My head is clearer. My bank account is slightly terrified, but my resolve is pure steel. So, let me pick up where I left off. I'm at the blackjack table. Her phone calls are coming in one after another. I just ignored them. I played for another hour, won about $400, cashed out, and went to a different bar. I finally decided to answer. I let it ring twice, then picked up. Julian, Julian. Where are you? What did you do? The sheer shrieking rage in her voice. It was something. I'm at a bar watching a game. What's up? I said calmly. What's up? I'm in the lobby of the Azure Cove. My reservation is gone. They said you cancelled it, and my card. My card is declined. You turned off my card. Note, I didn't turn off her card, but the $5,028.50 charge followed by my $4,004.50. Our Vegas trip probably maxed out. The Amex's credit limit a natural consequence. I didn't cancel it, I said, signaling the bartender for another drink. I reallocated the luxury view budget. Turns out a $5,000 view is too rich for my blood. I opted for a $4,500 view of a craps table instead. Dead silence. I could hear Corinne in the background going, What's he saying? You're in Vegas. Thea's voice was a low, dangerous hiss. I am first class. Flight was lovely. Thanks for asking. My suite is great. You stole my vacation money. You stole my trip. You did this to humiliate me. No, Thea, I did this to protect me. You handed me a $5,000 bill and told me to pay it because I'm lucky to have you as a view. That's not a partnership. That's a transaction, and I'm declining the charges. Corinne had to put a standard room on her card. A standard room. It's $1,200 a night. You owe her $4,800. Julian, I just laughed. I couldn't help it. I owe Corinne because you and she have a champagne taste on my beer budget. No, that's your bill. Thea, you're a big girl. You figure it out. You want it to be maintained. Go find a new maintenance guy. I hung up the phone. Then I did the most satisfying thing I've done in 4 years. I opened my Amex app, found Thea's authorized user card, and I hit freeze card. Then I texted her, one thing, since you now charging $1,200 a night to your friend, I assumed you didn't need my card anymore. Have a great trip. Then I blocked her, and Corinne, I enjoyed the rest of my weekend. I saw a show. I ate a $200 steak. I slept like a baby for the first time in years. I got home Sunday night. I was nervous. I half expected her to be there waiting for me. The apartment was dark. I walked in and my heart just sank. She'd been there. It was a rage fit. Cushion slashed, my framed posters ripped off the wall, a bottle of red wine, one of my good ones, smashed against the kitchen backsplash. It was violent. But that's not what stopped me. I walked into the den, my one room, my sanctuary, and I saw it, my vintage Comet pinball machine. I've had it for 10 years. I restored it myself. It's my thing, my artifact. She hates it. She's always called it tacky and clutter. The back glass, the beautiful painted 1980s back glass, was shattered. She hadn't just cracked it. She'd taken one of my 10-pound dumbbells and just caved it in. The glass was everywhere. I just stood there. The Vegas high was gone. The anger was gone. I just felt empty and stupid. I was so stupid. This wasn't about money. This wasn't about a trip. This was about her hating me, hating the one thing that was just mine. She didn't just want me to pay for her life, she wanted to erase mine. I stood there for maybe 20 minutes. Then I pulled out my phone. First got 24-hour locksmith, second call my brother Mark. He's a divorce lawyer. Mark. Hey, it's Julian. Listen, I need to file tomorrow and I need to know how to get a restraining order. It's been in a month, a long, ugly, expensive month, but I'm still here. The pinball machine is still in pieces. But the rest of my life is less so. My brother Mark is, to put it mildly, a shark, and he was livid when he saw the pictures of the apartment, especially the pinball machine. He helped me restore it the day after I got back. We filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and, crucially, domestic vandalism and financial dissipation. We filed for an emergency temporary restraining order. A judge granted it. Based on the photos of the destruction, she was ordered to stay 100 yards away from me and the apartment, which is solely in my name. I bought it before we got married. The fallout was immediate. She got served at her parents' house where she'd apparently been staying. Then the calls started, not from her mother, Celeste. Celeste is Thea 2.0, the original model. She left me 19 voicemails in one day. I saved them all. Julian, you turn off this paper. You have humiliated my daughter. She is a wreck. She had to pay Corinne back with my money. Do you know how that makes me look? You owe me $4,800. You locked her out of her own home. You canceled her cards. That is abuse. Julian, we are gonna sue you. And what is this about a pinball game? You're ruining her life over a toy. My God, you're a child. Be a man. Take care of your wife. This was the entitlement I was up against. It was generational. I never responded. Mark handled everything. He sent a cease and desist letter to Celeste. He arranged for a civil standby so Thea could retrieve her personal belongings. That was a scene to police officers. Thea and Celeste, I was allowed to be there, but Mark advised I stay in the back room. I heard the entire thing. Thea sobbing, but they sounded fake. Officer, he's keeping my things, my designer bags, my shoes. Officer, ma'am, we are here to make sure you get your personal property, your clothes, your toiletries. We are not here to mediate your divorce. This is all his fault. He abandoned her. He stole her vacation. He should be arrested. Ma'am, I'm gonna ask you to wait by the elevator. You're interfering. I heard them dragging suitcases. Then Thea shrieked, my look, Rose, my white Dutch oven. That's mine, Julian. I walked out. I couldn't help it. Mark sighed. Thea, I bought that for me 2 years ago with my bonus. You've never used it. I looked at it. It was part of the aesthetic of my kitchen. You're a thief. The officer just looked at me, then at her. Ma'am, if it's not your personal clothing or effects, it's a civil matter for the divorce. You need to leave the pot. I've never seen a human being look more outraged over a piece of cookware. They finally left. The apartment felt clean, even with the red wine stain on the grout. The main event was the first mediation meeting. We were in a sterile conference room, me, Mark, Thea, and her lawyer, a slick guy who looked like he was melting. Her lawyer started. My client is of course devastated by this breakdown. She is prepared to be reasonable. She is requesting exclusive use of the marital apartment, $8,000 a month in temporary spousal support, $25,000 in damages for the emotional distress and public humiliation of the cancelled vacation, and that all her credit card debt be forgiven. I almost choked. Mark just smiled. He slid a folder across the table. This is our offer. It is dollars. Thea's lawyer scoffed. That's not a serious offer. It's dead serious. Mark said, your client is an authorized user on my client's credit cards, which she is systematically abused to the tune of $114,000 over 48 months, not including the $5,128.50. She demanded for a non-essential trip. He slid across the Amex statements, all highlighted. Furthermore, your client admitted her view of this marriage was a deal where she is a view to be maintained. That counselor is not a marriage. It's a bad faith contract. A contract. My client is terminating. Thea finally spoke. I supported him. I managed the household. I gave him the best years of my life. I am the view you owe me. I just looked at her. Thea, the view is currently unemployed by choice and needs to be out of my apartment. You owe me for the pinball machine. Here's the estimate. I slid the last paper across a $1.950 quote from a restoration specialist to source a new backlash. And here, Mark said, is the police report for the domestic vandalism. We are of course prepared to press criminal charges if this mediation is not productive. Thea's lawyer went pale. He looked at Thea. She was just staring at the pinball estimate like she couldn't believe it. She was emotional. The lawyer sputtered. So is my client. Mark said, he's emotional about his destroyed property. He's emotional about 4 years of financial abuse. So here's the real deal. We are in a state where fault can be considered an asset division. You will sign this paper agreeing to no spousal support. You will agree to zero claim on this apartment. You will be responsible for your own debts. In exchange, my client will not pursue criminal charges for the vandalism, and he will not sue you in civil court for the $114,000 you dissipated from his assets. Thea was hyperventilating. No, this isn't. Celeste, call your father. Her lawyer put his hand on her arm. Miss, I strongly advise you to listen. She just started ugly crying. Not for me, not for the marriage, for the money, for the view. She realized the ATM was closed permanently. It's done. She signed. The divorce was finalized last week. It was fast and brutal. She's living with her parents. I heard through the grapevine that Corinne is in fact suing Thea and small claims court for the $4 800 Her best friend wasn't willing to foot the bill for her entitlement either. I am out a lot of money. The divorce cost a bit. The Vegas trip was an expensive few and the apartment was a mess, but I'm free. The wine stain is gone. The pinball machine. I found a replacement back glass online. It's shipping from it's shipping. It's quiet in my apartment. I'm just listening to a podcast and balancing my own budget. It turns out the best view in the world is a credit card statement with a zero balance.